Game Boy was an essential part of many childhoods and many people's introduction to video games. LEGO just created a working Game Boy, but is it worth the price tag? I'm so excited to share it with you. First, I'm going to get into my rating, my review, some final thoughts, and you'll be on your way to the next video. Let's get into it. I do my ratings on a number of metrics to help you figure out if this set is right for you. Skill 7 out of 10. 98% of this is really easy. Usually I address the beginners and then the intermediate to advanced separately, but I kind of feel like I can't quite do that fully for this, so I'm gonna just break it down for most people and then just say a little blurb at the end. Most of this build will be extremely simple. As long as you just look at the instructions and look at the build, you'll be fine. But there are a few parts with different pieces than we normally see and some weird build techniques. In particular, when it comes to the thumb pad and then also the buttons, it's a little weird. I honestly haven't seen the pieces that we've used for the buttons, I don't think ever. For a beginner, you will be able to navigate it. I would just say, please pay close attention, because if you have to pull this apart to fix anything, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. For my intermediate to advanced, it's too difficult for me to call this a unwind set, but it's not a difficult set either. By the way, an unwind set is something that I picture coming home from work and then just cracking open a case of Legos. Another thing with this, I thought that this part here, hold on, I gotta pop that out. This little thing that holds in the screen was done incorrectly. It is not. Just know when you come to it, when you look at the instructions, if it looks that way, you're okay. You're okay, you got it right. Aesthetics, 10 out of 10. For literally all the other metrics except for skill, I look at these grades. 7 out of 10 would be a C, which is average. 8 out of 10, a little bit better than average. 9 out of 10, almost perfect. And then 10 out of 10, perfect. So I think this is perfect. The level of detail in this is honestly insane, and that goes beyond surface level. A lot of the interior on this looks like a circuit board, which is crazy because you literally don't see any of this from the outside when it's done. Even though you cannot see it now, it looks fantastic and it makes the building process so fun. Also, the exterior on this I think is fantastic. There's so many things that make this absolutely incredible. Now I will say there are 2 stickers, and I will show you where. I usually say I really hate stickers and nothing can justify them, but these ones are justified. They are the cartridges. Okay, if you had these back in the day, I remember these being stickers, and I remember having friends who did not take as good of care of their cartridges as I did have the stickers peel off. So if they're gonna put stickers anywhere where it was actually stickers on the Game Boy, I think is perfect. Also, if I'm misremembering that, please let me know. But I have such a strong memory of these being stickers, so it kind of fits. And I also do have to say these stickers are a lot higher quality than the normal paper stickers. So I'm not mad. When it comes to the actual Game Boy and anything off of the cartridges, nothing on here is a sticker. There's a ton of printed pieces that really add to it. One of the ones that I in particular really like is the A and B beneath the buttons. I think that's really fun. Even on the side here, there's a little volume, a little external connector. There's so many things on here that were just small details that were thought of, and I love it. To me, it's honestly replicated perfectly for LEGO, and I just don't think there's anything they could have done to make this look any better. Also, I forgot to mention this in my notes, but the screen on here and the additions of those and kind of making it have some movement to it, I think is really cool. And to me, this is how I remember a Game Boy feeling in my hand. The size to me feels right, although it may not be, but it fitting so well into the palm of my hand just reminds me so much of my childhood. I didn't have a Game Boy growing up, but my best friend did, and I would go over to her house all the time, and we'd either be, one would have the Tamagotchi and one would have the Game Boy. And so I played a lot with this growing up, even though I didn't have the exact Game Boy. Durability, 8 out of 10. I will say these little scroll buttons down here definitely can be pulled out. I can't do it because of my nails, but I know you definitely can. Besides that, nothing really comes off except for this that's supposed to for you to be able to do the screen. And I think that's really cool. Even for the bits that do come apart for you to kind of change it and customize it, they're pretty durable. I think that's really fun because while this is a great display set and, comes with a little stand and stuff, this is also totally a set that you could give a kid. And I think that's really cool because for me, the Game Boy as a kid was my introduction to video games. So it's cool that a Game Boy Lego set could be somebody's introduction to Lego as a kid. Value, 1 out of 10. I do this metric solely based off the price per brick. Now I will accidentally call them bricks and pieces interchangeably. sorry. There are two main factors that affect a set's price per brick. One is licensed IP. Game Boy, Nintendo, yeah, it's a licensed IP. The other one is custom bricks. Now, I think this is really affecting this set. So for one, you have like obviously the screen here, and then you're given two other screens that are 100% had to be custom made for this. There's also a ton of custom printed bricks on the set, not to mention I think these stickers probably cost a little bit more to manufacture. So there is that. There was also some pieces within here that either are really rare or I've never seen before. Some of the button mechanics in here for these pink buttons, I don't recall seeing before. Normally a set's price per brick will range anywhere from 6 to 12 cents. This one costs $59.99 and has 421 bricks, giving it a 14-cent price per brick. It's like, I haven't seen this in a really, really long time. It's pretty awful. I do think I understand, but that doesn't mean that I get to change the rating because I feel subjectively like I get it. Some of my ratings are more objective and some of them are more subjective, and this one's very objective. Time, 8 out of 10. I only do this metric based off of the average amount of bricks I was placing per hour with this set relative to my normal average. Usually I can place about 325 to 450 bricks per hour, excluding Technics because that's a whole other thing. This set has 421 bricks and took me 1 hour and 6 minutes, meaning I averaged 382 bricks per hour. I put it at an 8 out of 10 because I feel like it was slightly above the middle of the average. I don't do math very well though, so I couldn't be wrong on that, but it felt good. I wasn't trying to rush through this necessarily, so I felt like it did pretty well. Joy, 10 out of 10. I said earlier, some of my ratings are objective and some of them are subjective. This one's just entirely subjective. For somebody who grew up with Nintendo and playing Nintendo video games, I had so much fun with it. This is something to me that was so iconic for my childhood, and you were like one of the coolest kids if you had a Game Boy. I didn't have a Game Boy, I had a Nintendo DS Lite, and then I was like the cool one, but I played with my friends' Game Boys all the time. The set did it so much more justice than I ever thought possible. Building things on the interior that looked like circuit boards, just, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that, and it was incredible. This is a short and sweet build, and it's just challenging enough that I found it extremely rewarding. Overall, A tier. I can't tell you how badly I want to put this guy in S, but I cannot do that with that price per brick. That's honestly horrendous. Even if I understand why, I'm not gonna do that. I honestly think it's incredible. It has a crazy wide appeal. Let's discuss it more. But first, the basics of this set. The first is the Super Mario cartridge and display for the cartridges and extra screens. Bags 2 through 4 are the Game Boy. And the last bag is the display stand for the Game Boy and second cartridge. I do think with this set, if you wanted to do it with 2 people, you could get the Lego Builder app and have one person do bags 1 and 5 and the other does bags 2 through 4. I personally wouldn't recommend it, especially since it's such a small build and it's relatively inexpensive, but if you were doing this as a kid's introduction to Lego, that would work really well. I really love how widely this set appeals to people. A lot of the bigger Lego sets I think kind of limit the amount of people who can build them. This one is nice and small, so it's a lot easier of anyone of any skill level to do. I think this one is decently beginner friendly, and to such a wide appealing concept, that's great. Also, Nintendo is a huge company with a really wide fan base, which I would imagine overlaps quite a bit with Lego. Usually, I'd say it's rare for a set to be strongly disliked by the Lego community, nor do I think it's common for it to be entirely loved. But when I saw this on Lego Leaks, I really don't think I saw one negative comment about it. After seeing it on Lego Leak, I saw it on Lego Talk a lot. Again, I didn't see one person who had anything negative to say about it. I did see someone say that they wanted a pink Nintendo DS Lite. Whoops, that was me. Anywho, I think it's really rare a Lego set gets announced and or released to this much support, and I think that's what makes this set really special. It's also interesting to see the contrast of response to this set to another set that was released on October 1st at the same price point, the Mineral Display. That review video will be coming out next week, by the way, so if you're unsure, you could just wait until that comes out. I do think this set has a high nostalgia draw, which definitely is helping it be so loved, but it definitely was executed really well. I see people online who say sets that have a nostalgia draw are instantly loved just because of the nostalgia, and I disagree with that. I just think Lego takes a lot of care with their sets targeted at nostalgia, which makes them even more beloved. If a company makes a product targeted at nostalgia and it's not amazing, people get really angry even if the product would be considered average or slightly above without the nostalgia. You see this a lot with TV shows, like the new Peacock show, The Paper, and The Office, which that in itself started off as a bit of a nostalgia thing for the UK version it was copied from. Actually, that was like a perfect example of what I was talking about. I really think think when people target nostalgia, the expectations get super high. So if you go above those expectations, it becomes really, really beloved. But if you don't meet it, then people get very angry. It just adds a lot of expectations to things. So this set hits because they took a lot of care and consideration with it and exceeded our expectations. And I, for one, absolutely love it when LEGO does this. So massive props to the LEGO design team, because wow. Anywho, I think the set is perfect for anyone of any age within reason. Like, obviously don't give this to your like 2-month-old baby. I think for video game fans, especially retro video game fans, if you built the, the arcade machine, the retro arcade machine, and you liked that one, you will love this one. Anyone who had a Game Boy and really loved it, and people who really wanted a Game Boy. Honestly, if you like how it looks, and or if you're getting into LEGO, I think this is a great one for it. Personally, when I look at sets like this, it makes me so excited to know what's coming out for next year. I've been seeing a lot of LEGO leaks, and LEGO leaks Reddit has a very, very high accuracy, and so seeing these and not having leaked photos of the sets coming out next year honestly gives me so much faith for what next year is going to be. We're getting our first Pokemon sets coming up pretty soon. And I have a funny feeling they're going to be heavy hitters. Like, if we thought 2025 was a heavy hitter year, I think 2026 is going to be even more insane than this year. This one was announced 10 months ago, and then when we got leaked photos of it, I just think this is such a good omen of what's to come with LEGO, and I'm so excited. I'm going to put this down for a little bit, but I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video to this point, because it seriously helps out the channel so much. Without viewers like you, I'd be like screaming into the void. And so at least I look a little less crazy for how much I love LEGO. What do you do with your life? I build Legos. Honestly, it's the coolest thing ever. I'm so happy doing this. This is my dream. And yeah, thank you guys so much for that. Comment down below. Let me know, are you planning on getting this build? Did you see my vlog where I talked about that I would be doing this build? Obviously, I thought this build was so crazy. I thought the whole line for the Death Star was for the Game Boy. Anyways, I just want to say thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!